All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp. Coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And as you can see, 2026 is already starting off on a major note. Okay, in years past, they never started so early as in the so-called new year as January. They usually wait till about March, but the past 2 years, the new year, according to Esau's calendar, has come in with a major situation. And of course, this year we have the toppling over Maduro, who is the president of Venezuela. Now, as the scripture says, I believe it's in Corinthians, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You know, this guy, Trump, and the media are saying all of this is for, or all of this is about drugs. But we all know this is not about drugs. Okay, because if that's the case, they got a whole lot of work they can do here in America. All right. You also got the incident with the president, Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan Chase, who had a whole boatload full of drugs. And you see that story just got swept under the table. But nonetheless, I say that to say we all know what this is really about. Resources that Venezuela has a lot of, especially oil. You know, America has always had its eyes on resources. The elites have always had their eyes on resources. The looking and searching out for them, and the gathering and control of resources, especially not theirs, other people's resources. Okay, and that reminds me of the scripture where it talks about how, I forget where it was, I'm driving so I can't really pull up the precepts right now, but it talks about how he increaseth his desire is hell, and he's never satisfied. You know, if you brothers know that, please put it in the comment section. But that's what this guy does. Okay? He is constantly increasing that which is not his. As the scripture says, this guy is a niggard. Okay? And his niggardly ways will be, how is it worded? Basically, the people will speak of his niggardly ways, because, as I mentioned before, everybody knows this is not about drugs. This is about oil, gold, and other precious natural resources. Okay? What we're looking at is robbery and kidnapping in plain sight. That's really what it is. That's all this really is. And see, now with America being in Venezuela, see, now this is going to create, what's the word I want to use? It's going to create a sensitive and volatile situation over in South America, because now, since America, for the most part, is going to take over Venezuela, guess what place Venezuela borders? You guessed it, part of the BRICS nations, Brazil. This is going to cause a lot of controversy. And we all know that America is doing these things on behalf of Amalek. And see, that goes into what the scripture talks about, how the least of the flock will draw them out. Okay? Putting America in a situation where we will have World War III, as the scripture tells us, how the first and the second woe passed, and the third woe cometh quickly. All right, that means World War III. Because you better believe the other leaders of the world are taking note and observing what America is doing. And now, since they are in a country that borderlines a country that serves their interests meaning the BRICS nations, okay, they're going to keep a very close eye on America, because you know they might try to do something funny. And see, this is all part of prophecy. This is all part of the prophecy to, how should I put this? This is all part of the prophecy that the Lord has spoken, that will eventually end up putting America in World War III and getting them ICBMs thrown at them. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting that America at all the times would pull this move. But you know, as the scripture says, you know, man's goings are of the Lord. And what was it? The king's heart is in the hand of the Most High. He directed it whichever way so he pleased, something like that. So, you know, it was all in the Lord's time that he decided that America would do a number like this. But this is definitely something that we should all be keeping our eye on, because this was a major move to set up the grand finale of America. So that's all I wanted to say on this. You know, nonetheless, I hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say Shalom.